time when you've spoken about this, you've mentioned that Islam, from the very beginning, is a violent religion and that it's intolerant to Western ideals, and that these refugees then bring these intolerant, violent ideals to Europe.
I think that's a slight caricature of my point of view.
What's up, YouTube? Hope you guys are feeling good. My name is Eleru, and today I'm back to the video and check out with you guys. This is called Stop Your Caricature of Me. Douglas Murray confronts and silences Qatar journalists. This is going to be a rather tough one. But you know how it goes, guys. We talk less and we react more. Let's check this out.
Douglas Murray has often been misunderstood and misrepresented many times by journalists. Some don't understand his arguments, and others just want to frame and cancel him. What you are about to see is one of those encounters with a young journalist from Qatar. Douglas Murray brilliantly responds and calls out the young journalist. Watch and let me know what you think.
Do you think that Europe is in the grips of being awash with refugees? A lot of the time when you've spoken about this, you've mentioned that Islam, from the very beginning, is a violent religion and that it's intolerant to Western ideals, and that these refugees then bring these intolerant, violent ideals to Europe.
I think that's a slight caricature of my point of view. People, when they move from one place to another, inevitably bring some of the views they had before. I'm sure you wouldn't argue that if you transport large numbers of towns from, for instance, Pakistan, and place them in the north of England, that everyone becomes like a Yorkshireman. We don't know which people of those who have come in will become secular and liberal, and what that means, and we don't know which ones will go the other way. And I know, as I'm sure you know, people who've gone the other way. I know people who cannot cope with that, who loathe the fact that they've ended up in this society where people trample on your holy places all the time. They say things, they make jokes, they even make cartoons. They hate that, and it pushes them in another direction. Because this isn't a science, we don't know.
Douglas Murray's response to the journalist's portrayal of his views on Islam and violence highlights a nuanced stance that is often lost in the polarized discourse on immigration, integration, and multiculturalism. Murray's clarification that his concerns are not with Islam per se, but with the broader challenges of integrating individuals from vastly different cultural and value systems into Western societies shifts the focus from religion to the complexities of assimilation and social cohesion. Murray's point about the unpredictability of integration outcomes is a significant one. It underscores the reality that while many immigrants and refugees adapt to and embrace the values of their new countries, including secularism, democracy, and liberal freedoms, others may not only resist such integration, but actively seek to transform their new societies to reflect the values of the countries they left behind. This distinction is critical in understanding the varied experiences of immigrants and the different trajectories of integration. The issue of open borders and the challenges of integration are further complicated by the political and social climate in many Western countries. Concerns about national security, economic pressure, societal cohesion, and cultural identity have fueled debates on immigration policy and the extent to which countries should open their borders. Murray's call for a cautious approach to immigration and a more thorough conversation about these issues reflects a broader concern about the sustainability of open border policies without effective integration mechanisms. Other public figures and intellectuals have weighed in on these debates, offering a range of perspectives. Ayaan Hirsi Ali, for instance, has spoken about the need for Islam to reform in order to better align with Western values of freedom and equality. Sam Harris, a neuroscientist and philosopher, has discussed the importance of being able to criticize religious ideas without being accused of bigotry. Conversely, figures like Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau have emphasized the supposed strength that diversity and multiculturalism bring to societies, advocating for more open and inclusive immigration policies. No wonder Canada is in the mess that it is in right now. Statistics and research on immigration and integration provide some context for Murray's arguments. For example, the European Union's Eurobarometer surveys consistently show that immigration is one of the top concerns among EU citizens. Studies on integration have highlighted both successes and challenges, with factors such as language proficiency, educational and employment opportunities, and social acceptance playing significant roles in the integration process. Furthermore, Incidents of terrorism and radicalization among a small minority of immigrants have raised questions about how societies can better identify and address potential threats without stigmatizing entire communities. The fear of being labeled racist or Islamophobic for discussing these issues, as Murray points out, can stifle open and honest debate on subjects that are crucial for the future of multicultural societies. It is important to distinguish between legitimate critique and discussion of policies and practices on the one hand, and discrimination and prejudice on the other. Creating a space where these conversations can occur without fear of retribution is essential for addressing the challenges of integration and ensuring that immigration policies are both fair and sustainable.
First off, I'd like to say that the way this, well, I call it a debate, or the way this discussion played out was quite satisfactory. I mean, if every talk from opposing sides was like this, then I believe people would have fewer problems because they're quite cordial and respectful with each other. Back to the video. This was mainly on the topic of immigration, and the way the journalist pointed it out, it was more like the negatives of Douglas' views with a little additives to make it blown out of proportion. I don't know if you get what I mean there. Okay, let me just break it down best way I can. Douglas has been talking about the issue of immigrants and how they bring their own beliefs and cultures into the Western society, and sometimes they just try to make it overshadow the Western society and all that. And the lady asked that based on the Islamists coming into the Western country, that they spread violence and all that. And Douglas pointed out that this was a caricature of his views, that not just about the Muslims, in the greater eye, for the greater good. Naturally, people coming in from another country tend to come with their own beliefs, they tend to come with their own culture. And just as he pointed out, you won't know the version or the part of them that would look like to be secular and liberal. And you won't know the part that actually hate seeing the people that they are now meant to living with trample on their holy places, make jokes about religious things, even make cartoons over them. They might not want to accept that, and they might be triggered to meet such actions with violence. Now, that is what Douglas is trying to point out. And this doesn't really reflect only the Muslims, other religions too. Nobody would like to see their religion desecrated in any sense that they feel. No matter how tolerant or lenient that you think that religion may be, nobody likes to see it insulted. Nobody likes to see it desecrated. So for the few that may be prone to violence in any of these religions or in any of these cultures, this is the outcome that Douglas is trying to put forward. And I understand him to some extent, because all over history, people that have accepted immigrants one way or the other, they find a reason to just tell them to go off, like away from that country, to go back to where they're coming from, because at some point they start to overshadow you, knowingly or unknowingly. It's just bound to happen. It happens. And that's what Douglas is trying to, will I say, actively prevent, but this is the point he's trying to get across. Guys, tell us if you enjoyed this video. Leave your comments in the comment section, and please leave a thumbs up at the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe.